The storm is over. Storm, I think it's pronounced Jorge, but anyway, I suppose in English it's pronounced George. The storm is over. It was raging around for the past about 48 hours or so. And in its wake, of course, we have this brilliant sunshine, this beautiful day. The temperatures are rising a little bit. The temperatures have gone a bit haywire over recent days. It was 14 degrees centigrade the day before the storm, and then that plummeted to, gosh, I think about 2 or 3 degrees centigrade the actual day of the storm, which was yesterday. So, we're sort of going a bit crazy. It's that March craziness. Today is the 1st of March. I've been working indoors and outdoors. I've been cleaning out my stove, which means cleaning out the chimney and getting rid of all the soot. I've put all the soot and whatever in various places around the garden because it's good for trees. It's also good in the compost heap. I've been doing this for years. It actually, because I just build up layers and layers in the compost heap, so you get this lovely kind of rich compost that plants seem to thrive in, as is evidenced here, just with my back door open looking out. So the time is 5 to 1 on Sunday, the 1st day of March. So we'll just step outside and I'll show you what I've been up to. I've got some plants here. These are both climbers that I bought on Friday, and I'm going to be putting those, not too sure whether I'll put them in tyres or not, but I'm going to build a nice trellis along the veranda to protect that from the worst of the weather and put plants, climbing plants, in through it. So that's going to give a sort of a green wall on the veranda, because the boards in the veranda are just continually wet and the rain seems to sort of drive in from the east for no particular reason. So yeah, it's just a beautiful day, and you can see here I've planted up some kale in that basket, and I'll just use that as a sort of a cut and come again type kale. And then along here, I was harvesting sage the other day, so I have a basket full of sage, which I'm going to put into bunches and then hang up to dry. So I might just hang them, I'll probably hang them in the barn. That's usually where I hang stuff. I've moved this little sort of work table out from the kitchen because I'm trying to clear the kitchen a bit, like I've been doing since last September, clearing space, making more space, allowing that energy to flow. And again, I would say that energy flow is very much evidenced in the success of my juice fast at the moment. This is day 8 of my juice fast, and it's really invigorating me, and it's sort of calming down the inflammation in my hands and my fingers, and giving me a really good feel-good vibe, which is brilliant. I've been sleeping wonderfully well. It's just an all-round sort of go-to retreat for me. So you could say that I'm on retreat. Now, how long I'll stay on the juice fast is anybody's guess. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going until I feel wholly better. So on top of this, should we just call it the veranda table now? I've got one of my old fish boxes here, which I'm going to be filling with some compost later on and sowing lots of green vegetables that will grow as seedlings, and they will become my microgreens. Now, I have done videos on this before, so if you want to just put in microgreens, Bealtaine Cottage into your search engine, you will get lots of info up about it and lots of photographs, and I think a video or two as well. So it's all there, it's all online. That's why I take the trouble to tag everything and write explanations and everything. So they're going to be growing here. I've got another fish box, a bigger one. I might use the bigger one on the top, the smaller one underneath, because I've got two sort of trays. So over here then, I've been getting the geraniums out of the barn, and you can see here, I've been cutting off all the dead bits and taking all the dead bits out from the top of the soil, pruning them back. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give them a nice little watering with some special fertiliser in the water. You know what that fertiliser is, don't you? Yes, it's Colette's pea. So 1 part pea, 10 parts water, thereabouts, roughly. I don't measure, I just guess. So that's it. And that's my very successful liquid fertiliser, which I'm going to be using on my geraniums. Oh, and before you go, pea, urine is completely, clinically sterile. Alright? It's sterile. So it's far safer to use that than any of those chemicals which you buy at your garden centre. So get real, people. So I've got 3 geraniums out so far. I think I've got a few more left in the barn, which I'm going to be getting out. So you can see over there the big gap where I've been harvesting all the sage. I took that entire basket of sage just from one plant. So that has its prune now. It's been pruned. And the potager beds, I'm continuing to plant those up. I've also been clearing a bit more of the earth and the grass and the weeds from the gravel. So you can see now I've got right up to the New Zealand flax, which I planted in memory of my mother, which is why it's so exuberant and doing so well. Because she was a very exuberant and healthy woman. And yeah, maybe a little bit of her consciousness is there in that beautiful New Zealand flax. Yeah, I'd say so. So this gravel now is being cleared slowly. You can see, just do a pan around, look, good old pan around. Most of the gravel now is clear. I've been having a look as well at my little nursery stock down here, all my little seedling trees. And I've also found a few more over near the tunnel. I'll show you in a moment. So look at the beautiful oh, I have one of those zoom moments. What is it called? I'll think of it in a moment. Anyway, it's got lots and lots of generic names to it, and I always try to go by the Latin name. Granny's bonnet is one of the generic names. So, yeah, let me just take you over to the tunnel. I think actually overall, you know, you can see now that this veranda is just working well. It's working better. And the space is almost enticing me to plant things and do things and work. So we'll go over to the tunnel. I've parked the wheelbarrow over there at the moment. Now look at this. They must be the spring flowering ones. They're in a little pot there. I must put those into the ground. Jobs to do, jobs to do. I'm sort of continually making little lists in my head of jobs to do. You can see that kind of pink flush now on the ribes. Look, the flowers coming out. Still a bit slippy slidey over here, so I have to walk very slowly now, as I don't want to go arse over tit on my backside, on my derriere. Someone said to me, in fact they've asked me twice, what is this? I couldn't tell you, it's just something I picked up. I think I picked it up in a charity shop. It may have been used for one of those floor lamps, I don't know. But I just love the shape of it and the look of it, and it's there covering a post. So that kale's looking good, isn't it? There you can see my compost heap with a little bit of ash and soot on the top. So in here I've been picking up dead pieces of the ash trees and just stacking them here to dry out. So in here then I've planted one of the cotoneasters. There's the other one, which I'm going to be putting in the ground today. There's some of my compost, which is really fantastic stuff. Very well rotted, rotted down over 2 years. Now, the geraniums that I left here in the tunnel have not fared as well as the geraniums that I stored in the barn. But I will do a similar thing with them and see how they come on. I'm always interested to see what happens if. So what will happen if I clean them up, cut them back, water them, fertilise them and put them over in the veranda. We shall see. Or I might leave them in here. Can come on late. So, now. I see a little flower out in the honeysuckle up there, look. Can you see it? In fact, a few flowers. Wow. The honeysuckle is growing beautifully here on this little sort of, it's just a bamboo cane and little bits of tunnel support. But it seems to have formed a beautiful canopy, which is lovely. And birds singing. So I've lit the stove now and I'm hoping that there'll be a nice boiling kettle when I go over there, because I'm going to have a cup of tea. People ask me, do you still take tea and coffee and you juice fast? Look, I did a live video yesterday which I took down almost immediately because people started asking me again about my cats, and that just gets me so upset. But anyway, I'll talk a little bit about my juice fast now in a moment or two, and try to answer those questions that people are genuinely very curious about getting answers to. So one of them was, do you take tea and coffee in your juice fast? Yes, I do. What kind of juices do you make? I do not follow prescriptions. I do not follow recipes. Those who know me know this. Those who've been visiting Bealtaine Cottage for the last few years will know this. I am not a woman to follow any kind of recipes or prescriptions. I find them very restrictive. So, for example, if you're following a recipe and you haven't got a certain ingredient, you're saying, oh gosh, disaster. So I don't like anything that restricts my life or restricts my movement or my thoughts or how I progress with things. So therefore, I do not follow any juice fast recipes. And what I continually say to people, the bottom line with me is roughly 50-50 fruit and vegetables. And as I said, this isn't a smoothie fast, this is a juice fast, okay? Juice. So I use a masticating juicer. Let me see, what other questions was I asked about the juice fast? Because I don't usually get the time to respond to questions in the comment section. Oh, do you drink water? Well, lots and lots of water. Lots and lots of water. Occasionally, if I'm going out somewhere, rather than be antisocial with my, whoever I'm going out with, say I'm going to a pub or a hotel, I will have a tomato juice as a treat. Okay? So that would not normally be part of my juice fast, but as a treat, I'll have a tomato juice. Let me see, what other questions? Oh yeah, I think someone asked me on Facebook, if you're vegan, anyway, what's the difference with the juice fast? Well, Come on now. Come on now. Okay, here's my challenge to the questioner. I want you to drink nothing but juices for the next 3 days and then tell me what the difference is between juicing and just eating vegan food. Because what you'll find, and that's not a sarcastic answer, because what you'll find is that your internal organs are completely rested. You're resting all your internal organs, okay? You're giving them all a little holiday, a little break. There is no pressure on your colon. There is no pressure on your liver, your kidneys, your stomach, your heart. It takes all the pressure off your insides, and it allows your insides to have a holiday. And they're having a holiday so much and enjoying it so much that within 3 days you will begin to feel the effects. And the effects for me, and probably many other people, are you sleep better, you sleep very deeply, you're calmer, depressive thoughts hardly exist, you have more mobility. Some people describe the fog lifting, and I can resonate with that, yes. There's a lifting of your mental fog. Your thoughts are clearer and sharper. You just spring out of bed. Well, I do. I just spring out of bed. Now, I'm 64. I shouldn't be springing anywhere, but I just spring out of bed. So it's about giving your body a rest, a proper rest. And that's the main difference, I would say, between juice fasting and eating vegan food. When you're eating, your body has to deal with that. When you're juice fasting, your body doesn't have to deal with anything. Now, of course, the number one reason why I juice fast is to lower the inflammation that is present in my body from arthritis. Now, my vegan lifestyle helps enormously. Of course it does. But in order to make sure that the arthritis is kept under control, several times a year I will juice fast. Now, I have put on some weight as well over the course of the winter months. I'm nowhere near the weight I was when I began my 100-day juice fast to lose weight. Because I lost, what did I lose? What did I lose? I think it was about 60 pound. Well, this time I've got about 30 pound or so to lose. So it's not as much, but it is a significant amount when you have arthritis. When one has arthritis, the worst thing that you can do is allow your weight to climb. It's just going to be completely detrimental. Completely, because arthritis attacks your joints, and the more weight you're carrying, the more pressure, the more weight, the more burden is on your joints. And I said in a video, it could have been about a year ago, I said, the first thing in dealing with health issues, and that includes being overweight, because that is a health issue, the first step in dealing with that is to own it, to take full responsibility for it, and not to come out with stuff to yourself like, oh, I've tried all these diets and I can't lose weight. No, that's not owning it. That's passing it on to an unknown mystery that, oh, even if you starve yourself, you can't lose weight. So, step number 1 is owning it, which I do. I own my own health to the extent that I'm taking affirmative action now in order to go into the late spring and the early summer without any lack of mobility in my joints. I want complete mobility in my joints. I want to be able to go walking, hill walking, stamina stuff. And I have, grandchildren that I want to, be active with. And I'm hoping that I will get to London sometime in the foreseeable future. And, when you have inflammation and arthritis and stuff like that, it can be, it kind of debilitates your body, but it also debilitates your kind of mental attitude towards things as well. Because you're constantly aware of, the pain, the discomfort. So there you go. I mean, those are the reasons why I juice fast. And the fact that I'll be able to, drop from a size 18 down to a nice, neat size 14 or even a size 12 is going to be a bonus, just a bonus. So there we go. So I'm posting photographs and little updates over on my Facebook timeline. That's just under Colette O'Neill. Now, I don't have any friends on that timeline. I just keep the timeline open in order to keep the Facebook page open. Because if I was to close down my account, then the Facebook page would also close. So I just use it for posting. So that's it. Now I'm going to get back to work because I've got masses to do. And you can hear the birds singing and everything's very upbeat. And it's actually, just standing underneath the veranda here, it's just lovely. It's warm. It's beautifully warm. So blessings to you all on this very special first day of March. Blessings.